Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now today's reading is exciting. Okay, so I never try to connect with people when I do the readings. People asked me already so far on a couple of them why I chose the people I chose. They were coming in, like Judy Garland was very persistent, and I didn't really want to read Judy Garland's energy because her energy is really kind of crummy. But basically, to make this short so I can get on with the original video, I felt like somebody needed that video. Okay, so I had to say something, and I felt like somebody needed to see that, and they will eventually see it if they haven't already. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. Now, this person, who is, of course, the late, great David Bowie, came into my space, and I didn't recognize his energy right away because I wasn't, like I said, I don't tap into them on purpose, and that was a little before my time. Now, the interesting thing is he didn't come through as David Bowie, he came through as Ziggy Stardust, and that is how he wants me to put him out there. That's why I'm using the picture that I chose, which is Ziggy Stardust. Now, he said that this was his main persona, and the reason why I chose to read him is because his energy is amazing. So basically what Ziggy Stardust is telling me that Ziggy Stardust was his main persona. That is how he lived his life. Very loud, very, his life was amazing back then is what he's telling me. He's like all the parties, all that stuff. That was when he was at his highest peak. He didn't have depression. He was very happy. He loved the people around him. He's bringing up the people around him. There were some people, though, that he brought up, and this will kind of go along with further in the video, that he had a very good connection with, and they were in the music industry. Now, one of the things he brought up was the fact that he had absolutely no privacy. And everywhere he went, he had no privacy. He was always worried about everything being bugged. So like the phones, there were cameras everywhere. He said there were things that were being leaked. He was getting blackmailed. Even if it was stupid blackmailing, it was just people trying to get his money, trying to get rich, you know, stupid like hotel people. He said he couldn't trust anyone, nobody. And the really interesting thing is he showed me this, it's not dark web exactly. It's part of the dark web, but it's a side of the dark web that is where a lot of people go to communicate. It's, you know, you have to have some hacking skills. I'm just going to put that out there. He had amazing computer skills. Maybe he didn't advertise that. I don't know if he did or people knew that. I would assume they did if they were in the industry, and also communicated the way he did. In fact, a lot of band members actually have very good computer skills. So basically what would happen was he would go into this other part of this communication platform that was on the side of the dark web, and he would communicate with other people like him in the entertainment industry. Now, there were different ones for each part of entertainment industry, but he's bringing me to the music one. That was his main one. He would go and kind of watch and laugh at people on the other ones. He's joking around about that. He thought it was funny. He's just talking about the personality sometimes. Yeah, a lot of that is true, because whenever I pull some energy in, and because they're kind of tapping on my shoulder, I want to check their energy, and everybody's different. Everybody's different. So if you ever feel lost in your life, don't, because you are allowed to be different. Okay, I just want to say that. Now, the very interesting thing is he said that he would go into this forum, and he did have very specific people he could talk to, and they would all pass around this information. So if so-and-so did this or so-and-so did that, then he would pass it along and be like, hey, you know, I just stayed here, and this is, you know, and I can't talk to anyone, and this is going on. I just want you guys to know this. And that is how a lot of the band members communicated. And it's very interesting because he said that there were some very close people to him. I don't know if he ever made that public. I don't watch a lot of interviews and stuff with any celebrities. I like to stay detached from other people as much as possible unless I feel a soul connection to them. I'm not a person that stands celebrities. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. I know this is ironic that I'm doing a celebrity reading, but there were certain people that he told me, Michael Hutchins from NXS, who is also passed away. He said that was a bad deal, but we're going to move on. Duran Duran, he brought up Duran Duran is another band. He said the whole band, because I asked if he brings somebody in that he communicated with to let me know if it was a specific member or the whole band. Now, this was back then, and I'm not saying they communicate with everybody like that, and I'm not saying they're completely trustworthy to everybody, but to him, they were very close. There were other people as well, and he's saying there's a lot of people he did not give a crap about. He did not give them time of day when he was here on earth, that he is communicating with on the other side now, that he should have. Okay, he's saying he should have. And there were people who were warning him about stuff going on before he kind of fell into it. Okay, so there's a common thread with a lot of these celebrities. I'm just going to put this in a very basic way. I'm not going to elaborate. They felt tricked. Okay, they felt tricked into the way they did things, the way their music was. He also was talking about how he would hide his music, and he would hide his music online, and he was always worried about people stealing his music too. But there's another side of that where he felt tricked in the music industry. Yeah, he says think long and hard before you want to get into that. When, how do I want to say this nicely? You're told certain things about who you are, and they tell you, you know, you're this great, important person. You're a god. You need to act like one. We're putting you out there because you're a god. You're part of a legacy, a certain bloodline. And unfortunately, and this is something we were kind of talking about with, you know, the deaths of celebrities are not always what they seem. And it's usually not what they say, okay? It's about the nicest way to put it. And he said he knew what he was getting into. He knew what was going to happen right before it happened. And it's just part of their life, he's saying, okay? So I just want to make that clear. It's part of, they know, and he wasn't disappointed that it was his time, because it's a number. It's like a lot. They keep showing me this lottery thing. I always see the lottery thing with them. His number was up, not in a spiritual way. It's literally a lottery of life here with, okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into any more detail on that. And he said he knew he was able, and this is another thing, people are able to say goodbye and everything. And it didn't bother him. It didn't bother him. I think he was ready, you guys. Now, I know that sounds hard to understand, but when they get that famous, they really can't do a lot. And he just keeps talking about there was no privacy on anything. He could not trust very many people at all. And the people he could trust, it was on a certain level, but he would never go as far just because he was burned so much to trust people, and that's really sad. And he just wants me to bring up that a lot of the people he left behind from back when he was like Ziggy Stardust, that he misses them. And he's sorry. And unfortunately, when you get to a certain point, you have to cut everybody out. It's not something you can control. Like, you get controlled by the record company, and once you get to a certain level, you don't have a lot of communication with people in general. Like, you don't, you can't, you're not allowed to. There's a certain level of, it's like a club, and you don't even get to interact with each other. A lot of these celebrities are very lonely, And that's why they start getting depressed, especially if they're an extrovert and they get in this. If you're an introvert, you do a little better because you are literally pretty much isolated. You are working, 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 working all the time. Like, there's no stopping. And it doesn't make, and I'm just going to put this out there, it doesn't make money like what you guys think. If they would say this person is worth millions, no. The company, like, that's what, basically when they're saying numbers, that's what the record company made off of them. That's what, they're slaves, basically. You know, that's why a lot of them wear the chains. It was where chains, locks, keys, they're owned. And they're putting that out there. They're like, hey, you know, we don't get to be who we want to be. And I just wanted to put that out there. That's important. We're going to see. He's kind of stepping back a little bit. And with any of these videos, I might do more later. I'm not going to say this is a part one. I did do that on the Judy Garland one, but I decided not to do any more on that right now. But I'm going to be eventually touching back on some of this. And I've had other people asking me to explain how I do the readings. And it's not something I can really explain. If you're a medium, you'll understand what I mean. And I will eventually try to do that. I will try. I gotta really figure out a way to put it in a way that anybody can understand it. And of course, it sounds crazy. And if anyone wants to think I'm crazy, you can think I'm crazy. I don't care. This is something that was very important for my guides that they wanted me to do. And it's very important to get some of these messages out because I think people have this understanding of a lot of the celebrities that isn't real. It's not accurate. Yeah, they're put up there and they want you to, these record companies want you to love them. They want you to give your all to them. They want the energy. It's like a vampiric energy type of thing. And that's what they want. But in all honesty, it really kind of takes away your own part of your soul when you do that, when you give any one person all of your energy. And I hope that makes sense. So again, he did step away, and I will be eventually recording something that kind of explains as best as I can. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. There wasn't much to it, but short and sweet is sometimes the best. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching my video about David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust. Thank you so much.